Evening, lads. Evening, all. How we doing tonight? How we doing tonight? Let's get a few people in the chat. Let's get talking about boxing. And let's see how we go. Let's see where the next hour and a bit takes us. There we go. What's that? There we go. Just checking the text. Let's see where the next hour and a bit takes us. So, get a few people in the chat. I want to talk about. I tried. Do you know what I did? Right. I tried my darndest. I do this sometimes. I sometimes just give up on a video when shit goes wrong. So, like, I was trying my best to make a video about Tyson Fury because he tweeted after the Warrington fight saying basically, what was it? He said something like, oh, this is what happens when you're inactive or something like that. And a few people, and I think they were right as well. A few people were like, is that him just kind of saying basically, you know, once the AJ fight happens, if I'm not great, the inactivity might not help. No, I don't think the inactivity will help Fury, but I tried to talk about it in a video. You know, when you just try recording and everything fucks up, like you can't get your flow right, you can't get anything right, things are all over the shop. It just didn't go right. I was just like to myself, you know what? I ain't gonna do this. I'm not meant to record this. So I said I just do the video. I just do the live stream instead. I said I just do that. I did Rampage Ryan. I'm going to touch on that in a sec. Yo, Johnny. What's up to Johnny boy? Big up to Johnny. What's up, brother? God bless the chat. Lads, Johnny boy, great channel. Go over there. Big up to Johnny every time. Glad to see you in the chat, my man. Big up to Nick. Big up G-Man and the chat. He says, hashtag G-Man's rocks. You always got to get that in there. I always got to put that in the chat. I always got to get that. But yeah, before I talk about Fury, did you see Bivol versus Craig Richards? That's a human sacrifice. I mean, lads, I genuinely thought that was a parody account who put that up when I seen it today. Bivol versus Craig Richards. I mean, like, Craig Richards has done well for himself, but lads, Dimitri Bivol, no. I was looking at it, I was like, it's legit. I was like, lads, that can't happen. Is Craig Richards even ranked? It's only like a year ago. Actually, wait there a sec. I'll see what is the IBF light heavyweight rankings? I want to check this, see if he's even ranked. Because I saw that, I genuinely thought that's a parody account. I think it was Michael Benson's Twitter page. And I was like, has to be a parody account. Has to be a parody account. So we're on the IBF rankings at light heavy. Oh no, he's WBA actually, isn't he? Wait, fuck, he's WBA. So I'll try that again. Well, if it's WBA, he's probably going to be ranked number 2. If it's the WBA, God knows what that. God only knows what WBA are like. Before I actually go further, wait there a sec. Look who's in the building. Ade's in the building, lads. Big up, shout out to Ade. I seen on your stream on Sunday, right? You were saying you're looking to switch to StreamYard. I meant to give you a text about StreamYard. Definitely the free version. Take the free version. Don't go paying. You get 20 hours a month free. I think I can have up to 6 people on at any given time. I don't think there's much else to it, but definitely take the free version. Unless you're a hardcore streamer, where like Mark or someone like that who streams a lot and like does commentary for the fight, like Mark or D. I'd go for the free version if I were you, mate. You get 6 people on. You can screen share as well. You can do a load of things. You can drop the link. You can go on camera, or you can, like me, I'm in my bedroom and the lighting's not great in here. So when I do this, the TV in the background, lighting's not great in here. So that's why I don't go on camera during these. When I'm in the bedroom, I just got the lighting in. Like this I've got 2 lights on and candles lighting, a TV in the background, and this is about as much light that gets in. So it's absolute. With that light bulb, I mean, I swear to God, Stone Age people may as well have used that. Seriously, Stone Age people may have designed that, because that's worthless. But yeah, that's the only thing. But yeah, free version. I can't see anyone, unless like you're doing like hardcore, like watch along streams, doing more than, like you get 20 hours from the minute you do your first stream. So like, I don't think I've ever hit the 20 hours. and there's been months where I've streamed for 2 hours twice a week, and I've never hit the 20-hour. They give you a notification when you go past 10 hours. They just say like, oh yeah, you've gone past 10 hours. You have another 10 hours before we start charging you. The only difference between the free version and there's a few little subtle differences, but I don't think it's worth it. If you get the paid version, I think it's 12 quid a month for the basic StreamYard. You don't have the logo. So you see where it says powered by StreamYard on the right-hand side, that goes away. Instead of 6 people on your panel, I think you can get 10. You can get 10. And that's really it. I think you can run your own logos. Like Johnny here, he pays because, yeah, Johnny would do commentary for a lot of fights. So if you're doing like Mark and Johnny and D would always do commentary for fights, they'll do like 2 or 3 hour streams a day. So that's kind of that's why I don't need it. Like I thought about doing it at the start of this year. I think one thing, I think with the, oh no, actually, no, never mind. You could do that anyway. I was going to say, I think with the full version streamer, you can download. So if you do a live stream and you have a panel on, and say it's a reaction or something like that, you could easily download that. You can't do it with the free one. I tried, but you can download the paid one into like, a file. But saying that, mate, if you have screen record, you could easily just do it like that. I mean, that's how I got Tyson Boot to do my intro. I literally, once I see him shout me, I was like, I'll have that. Rewind, screen record. There we go. I've got a new intro. Man, thank you. Let's go, G-Man, for your lightning. Mate, thank you. You don't have to give me anything. I don't mind giving you the super chats, but you don't have to give me anything. But appreciate that, mate. Appreciate that. But yeah, if I've sold StreamYard to you, there you go. You can use it on your phone as well. Like what I'm trying to do, and I haven't done it. Oh yeah, and by the way, here's one other good thing about StreamYard that I think you'd actually really, really like. It's great for interacting with fans, but not going live. So what I mean by that is, if I brought you on this panel, right? If, let's say for argument's sake, me and you chatted for the next 50 minutes and I said, right guys, I'm ending this stream here. I can click end stream, but we can still chat backstage. And even though the stream is uploaded to YouTube, like say for argument's sake, you've got a fan who is looking for tips on YouTube and maybe you don't want to give WhatsApp out or something like that. You could easily just go because StreamYard has your studio. So it has all the streams you've done. So you can click into I episode log these. So I could click into episode 20 for argument's sake, copy a link to that, send it on to a fan on Twitter or, an email or something. And he can click on that link. We can go back. We can't go live, but we can chat backstage as if, a bit like kind of WhatsApp, Skype or something like that. So it's handy for interacting with fans as well. So I know me and Mark did that with a fan on Saturday. It was a guy who actually, he subscribed to him. He's called King of the Ring. I think the O or the S is with a $sign, but he was looking for some tips on YouTube. So, me and Mark just basically said, okay, here's a link, hop on. It was one of Mark's old streams. And we literally just hopped on and chatted for a good 40 minutes. Which is one other good thing about StreamYard as well. It's like, I'm selling this. If you don't use StreamYard, man, I've wasted about 10 minutes. But it's good because you can do things like that. So if a fan is looking for some tips and, rather than, go through WhatsApp or something like that, you just send them a link to StreamYard, send to him on Twitter or something, he clicks on it, you just have a chat on StreamYard. It's not live, it's backstage, but, it's one of the good things about it. So yeah, I've sold StreamYard. I know I don't have shares in StreamYard, but thanks for that. Oh yeah, that's another good thing about StreamYard. I'm keep coming with this. You can click on the comments. That's another good thing. I've never used it on the phone, so I'm not sure how it works on the phone. Well, I've used it on the phone, but not live. So I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, you can click on the comments like Darren says there. And if StreamYard anyone's watching this and they want to give me free, the free pass for all the selling, I'm more than happy, get in contact with your boy. Emails on the community tab. I meant to click on Joe Stunner's comment there. Sorry, Tommy. Big up Addy. You've come a long way since Bok Talks days. True that. I remember when I watched Addy and Ryan first, about 2016. And Jesus, I think it was after Hatman showed you out in the live stream. So you've gone from box talk to box in talk with Addy, man. It's crazy. Evening, ladies, evening, gentlemen. No, we get ladies in here too. Let's not forget. We butcher some of their names, but we get ladies in here too. So you want to shout them both out, mate. But big up to Chris from Broken Nose Boxing. Great channel. Absolutely great channel. I missed loads of comments. Like, seriously, I spent the last 10 minutes selling StreamYard. You know, Tony, shout out to you, man. Evening G. Liam, evening. Hashtag G-Man's Rocks. Of course, you got to get that in there. You think the board will score fights? Do you know what? I actually do think that. I was thinking to myself about this today, actually. I was like, right, scorecards with the board, with like the judges here have been a bit off. But think of it like this. There's a lot of pressure, I think, going to be on the board to do a good job this weekend. Imagine having 2 dodgy scorecards in 2 weeks. Like, imagine Kelly Avanesian is razor tight. Let's just say Kelly wins, right? Let's say Josh Kelly wins a very close competitive fight, and we get a 118-111 scorecard or a 117-111 scorecard in Josh Kelly's favor. Realistically, that might really, because if you have to, one of them is not, you shouldn't be having dodgy scorecards like that. But if you have 2 in a row in 2 weeks, which may very well happen, you might start seeing serious issues. I think they'll have learned from that personally. The British Boxing Board of Control are full of shit. Well, that is giving me 20 quid, so I don't have to worry too much now about, what they say in here. I don't have to worry as much. I can say a little bit more. I can say a little bit more things. So big up. Yeah, the board are just big up to Ben. But I'll tell you what the British Board of Control are. They have their main guys who they always use and they always rely on. And rather than get some of the kind of more grassroots kind of guys, your Jeff Hines, Bob Williams doesn't do many big shows these days. Is it Bob Williams? I think it is. There's a lot of kind of referees, because he's got to think of it like this, right? Before lockdown, look at how many shows would take place every week in the UK, right? It wasn't just the big shows. Look at all the small hall shows. Well, who was refereeing those shows? They're all, British Boxing Board of Control referees. So who was refereeing them shows? Why can't they be given the green light to referee some of these big Matchroom shows or big Frank Warren shows, BT shows, MTK shows, because they're there. It's not like they're not there. I mean, like, in any given week, you have shows up and down the UK, and I'm not talking about massive shows, small hall shows, loads of them. So there's judges all around. I don't see why it has to be Victor Loughlin, Terry O'Connor, Steve Gray, Howard Foster, Ian John Lewis. I don't see why it always has to be them. I don't see why you can't get people like your Jeff Hines and people like that to judge these fights. Maybe that's just me, but I suspect it's because they stick to what they know, basically. I suspect Morty James, shout out, even to Darren, even to Jay. Yeah, I missed a load of this. I really did. I spent the last 10 minutes, and I never even looked at the rankings in the WBA for Craig Richards. Is he ranked by WBA? Wait there a sec. Oh my God, he is. He's ranked number 8, Craig Richards. Whoa, this WBA rankings, holy shit. Wow. Lads, I'm just going to read you the WBA rankings at light heavyweight, because someone asked about, I'll show you this now. Rampage Ryan said, did you see Bivol versus Richards? Yeah, that might be happening. I said, what's he ranked in the WBA? Well, Robin Kashku, I've seen him fight. I think where is he from? I forget where he's from, but he's the interim WBA champion. I didn't even know there was an interim WBA light heavyweight champion. Boatsi's ranked number 2. Blake Caparella's number 3. Gilberto Ramirez number 4. How the hell is he below Boatsi? And, well, if you're fair enough, he's only had one fight. But he's still. Charles Foster is American. Yeah, I've seen him fight a few times. He's number 5. Dominic Bozil, who I've never seen fight. Shabransky is 7. Has he fought since he lost to Kovalev? Richards is 8. He's ahead of Marcus Brown. Seriously. He's ahead of the likes of Marcus Brown, Badu Jack, Zach Dunn. I've seen him fight before. He got knocked out. But yeah, he was. He got knocked out by David Brophy, I'm fairly sure, in a Commonwealth title fight. That WBA rankings is fairly bad. That's pretty bad. Those rankings are absolute muck. They really are. How big up to Limo. Evening. Fury should have fought in December. It was supposed to be Caballel. Yeah, I definitely think they'll regret that. I think that they are going to be regretting that very, very, very much. See, like, this is what you need to remember, is that Josh Warrington, I think Styles played a big role. But let's not forget, let's say they put Josh Warrington in there against some feather-fisted, I don't know, Eastern European. Let's say they got some Croatian or, some Bulgarian fighter in there who was, a bit of a padded record, but was feather-fisted, stuff like that. I reckon that we would have still seen Josh Warrington maybe not look at his best. So someone who stylistically would have been a lot more complimentary to Josh Warrington. I suspect we would have seen him maybe not look amazing for the first couple of rounds, because I think the rust would have still been there. But I definitely think that, I definitely think the inactivity is going to plague Tyson Fury. I really do. I think that the inactivity, that's the one worry I have for this fight, because I think that AJ got that run out in December, which Fury needed. I forget the whole ins and outs. I think money, but at the end of the day, money's one thing, right? Money's one thing. It's all well and good saying, oh, I don't want to fight for this amount. I'm not saying it was necessarily all that, but you can't, how do I word it? Experience is everything. Having that camp, having that fight time, having all that will pay dividends in the long run. Even if it's a case of just, you go in there, maybe it's a bit of a dull fight. Maybe people say, oh, that wasn't a great performance. Nevertheless, it's a performance nonetheless. That's what I'd be looking at. And that's what I'm, looking for, basically. So for me, Fury should have had that run out, even if it was against Caballel, even if it was against Takam, just to clear the cobwebs. Steel sharpens steel at the end of the day. Big up to George. Yeah, big up to Ade. I sold him on StreamYard. If he's not using StreamYard in his next live stream, then, I'll have to have a word with, my stockbrokers and all, because my shares would go take a dive. Because I spent 10 minutes just selling StreamYard. And I literally could have done that. I meant to actually text Ade on Monday about that and just saying, do you need some tips on StreamYard? But yeah, staying away from Wilder channels. Oh, I've done a video on Wilder saying he thinks he still beat Fury, so have no fear. You'll have a video on that. I'm not going to touch on it here. Even Tommy, smash the like button on the way in, 100%. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that every time. Smash the like button if you could, lads. It doesn't cost anything, and believe me, it helps out something terrible. Lennox Lewis versus Tyson Fury, who wins? It's a tricky fight for Lennox Lewis. But you see, I've seen Lennox Lewis when he's been outboxed before, when he's fought tall guys. I'm not seeing him live, I was too young, but I've seen him be able to get, he fought a 6'9" guy in the amateurs. There's a little bit of footage of it. I can't remember the guy's name. His name escapes me. But he fought a 6'9" guy in the amateurs, and he was able to. Lewis had a bit of an inside game. I reckon I'd go with Lennox Lewis as it stands, but definitely I'd be going with Lennox Lewis. Lewis has an inside. He can throw uppercuts. He can bring the fight close if he needs to. I think Lewis' versatility will pay dividends in that. Yeah, man, it's BS, mate. Those two guys, right? I love watching Bivol. I love watching Peturbia. Some people say Bivol is boring. He's not the most entertaining, but I love watching him just to see his technique. He looks brilliant in the ring sometimes. Both guys are going to have comeback fights against apps. Respect to Craig Richards, right? He's a good little fighter. He's a good domestic level fighter, but that's what he is. He's a domestic level fighter. He had a draw. Oh, not in his last fight. His fight before that. He's had some decent wins, but at domestic level, I mean, this isn't like going from domestic level, where domestic level is okay, and taking on, a fringe, a champion who is a champion, but he's not he's not one of the champs, if you know what I mean. Imagine, for argument's sake, I'm just going to try and see if I can think of a weak champion. With the greatest respect to Patrick Teixeira before he lost the weekend, no one was saying that, him against Charlo be a hell of a fight. That'd be like, Fowler winning a British title at domestic level and then fighting Teixeira. You'd still pick Teixeira, but you'd say, right. Maybe, he's not the strongest. You're looking at Bivol. I mean, that's just crazy. Eddie's man suggesting that far too soon. I know, mate. I can't. I'm having a brilliant evening, mate. Did he? Coach Edgar trained Craig Richards for a bit. Craig Richards is a good fighter. Like, don't get me wrong. You know, I was amazed that people had him the underdog against Jake Paul. Does anyone remember that fight? Jake Paul when he fought Craig Richards. They were meant to fight in 2018, and then that fight got pushed back to 2019. And I was adamant from the beginning that Craig Richards would beat Jake Paul. And you know, Jake Paul was getting the house fighter treatment. He was bounced up and down off the canvas, and he was trained by Dominic Ingle. Even Dominic Ingle couldn't fix Jake Paul. You know, he was like a mere cat. Did anyone ever see? If you've ever seen Craig Richards versus Jake Paul, Craig Richards is not a noted puncher, right? He is not a noted puncher. And he was looking like George Foreman in there against Jake Paul. That was crazy. I knew Paul's chin wasn't great, but I didn't think it was that bad. Surprised Bivol isn't leaving her. I'm surprised he even signed with him to begin with. To be honest with you, when all the light heavyweight action is on ESPN. So that to me made no sense. If Eddie had Buatsi fair enough, said Buatsi fair enough, but yeah, that's what I thought. I was thinking like to myself, it was like, you'd say Buatsi would beat Kovalev, but you're putting Richards in with Bivol, mate. Yo, big up to Jim McDonald Boxing. About you, G, man. Just found your channel last couple of days. I have a decent channel, fella. So I have a decent... Yeah, no, big up to Jim McDonald Boxing. I see Jim in Dell's live streams all the time. So big up to Jim. Big up to Jim. How's there, Elizabeth? How are you there, Elizabeth? Yeah, man, Ade, one of the best on YouTube. Easily. I was watching this video on work today. I get my notifications. Definitely that. Yeah, they'll do that on pay-per-view. Definitely. That's pay-per-view. Definitely. So I like that fight, mate. I think it's a great fight. I think that is just going to be, oh, mate. You see, I'm already starting to think like, ooh, could Joe Joyce actually do it? Could he win? Then I'm thinking, but Usyk, we've seen it in the amateur. That's going to be a great fight. Definitely pay-per-view. That's a great fight. It's an absolute great fight. I like that fight. I like it a lot. I really hope we see it. You know, hopefully in May or April. I really hope we see that fight. Anyone see the Wilder interview this week? Mad, yeah, man. I'm gonna touch on it. Don't have no fear. Gonna touch on that. But mate, yeah, Bivol beat Pascal, Barrera, and Joe Smith. Yeah, the Joe Smith one that's aged very well, hasn't it? That Joe Smith win, he beat Joe Smith 2019, March 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And he won damn near he really put Joe Smith in his place early on. He really did. And that Joe's gone on to beat Jesse Hart, Alida Alvarez. It's such a shame. It really is a shame we didn't see Joe Smith versus Maxime Vlasov the weekend. Because that was the fight I was really, truly looking forward to. That fight was, they're saying it's rescheduled for March, but I mean, it's just sad. And that was literally the 11th hour. That was just so annoying. I was so looking forward to that fight. It just, mate. Wilder counting Fury fights and knockout. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, like the fans just, like, it's a 10 count. It's not a flat 10 seconds. You know, there are 5 lights on an F1 grid that go out. You go when the 5 lights go out. It's not like 5 seconds, boom, it's lights out and away we go. No, it's a count. Everything is a count. It's a 10 count. If it was a flat 10 seconds, it would state that in the rule. The referee makes the count, and it's the referee's count that's final. But you tell that to Wilder fans, and it's just like, no. He was clearly down for 14.329 seconds. All right. Fair enough, so. Moving swiftly on. It's still a draw. Big up, G. How's it going in chat room? It's going great, mate. It's going great. I'm missing so many of these questions, so sorry, lads, if I have. I spent so much time just talking. You know what? G-Man, you think there are any welterweights in this era that could have made it into the Fab Four in the 80s? Pacquiao, if you're talking about in this, well, I suppose Pacquiao was really prime in the last era. Spence would have given some of them a problem, definitely. Crawford, I think, gives anyone a problem. I think Crawford's style is just, I think Crawford gives anyone a problem. Spence versus Duran. Now, a picture that would be a fun little fight. Spence versus Duran at welter. Leonard versus, oh man, imagine that. Leonard versus Crawford at welter. That would be a hell of a fight. Turman was good in his day. I think Turman's past it now, to be honest. I think the injuries, the inactivity is... I remember saying, how long was it? 3 years nearly, when Keith Turman missed a year in 2018, because he had a fight in August 2018 listed, but he pulled out because of an injury. I remember saying, I think Turman's done. I think Turman's done then. And I genuinely think I've been proven right. I mean, the guy, I loved watching Keith Turman. I really did, but I just don't think the hunger's there. I think he got his title. He's made his deal. He's been paid very well in his career. And I think that was all we really need. I think that was it then. I think like some fighters, they want their title. They want their bit of payday. And once they have it, it's like, right, I can get out now. I'm happy. I've done what I need to do. I've achieved what I need to achieve. Let's just call it a day. With the Warrington pay-per-view off, do you think you could go to purse bids? They might very well do it. You know, they might try and get Usyk, because I genuinely, that Warrington card, it reeked of it. Do you know what it is, right? It's a classic case of overlooking, isn't it? When you think about it, because Dylan White, I said it before, I'll say it again. Whenever there's a fight with another fight lined up, you always wonder, is there a banana skin? You always do kind of wonder that, because with this, it was like, Warrington, will the Kanzu fight be on pay-per-view in April or May? And like, just imagine he won that fight. Imagine, because I'm telling you now, the scorecards for that fight still haven't been released. They still haven't been released. Someone commented on Sunday on my live stream, and they said that the scorecard was 78-72 or something like that in favor of Lara. But that was Boxing Scene's unofficial scorecard. So we don't know exactly what the actual judges were scoring in that fight at ringside. I'd love to be able to have seen what the judges actually said at ringside with that. Because I reckon, and the fact, normally Sky are quite quick to say it. Like, put it like this, right? When Bellew got knocked out by Usyk, Sky were quick to say Bellew was ahead on 2 of the judges' scorecards, or was it ahead on 1? He was definitely ahead on 1. They're quick to point that out, right? They're quick to point certain things out, you know, with scoring of a fight. But this one, I'd love to know what the scorecards actually said, because we don't know them. They're not on BoxRec, and I've Googled them a few times and there's nothing there. I'd love to know what the scorecards for this fight were, for Warrington versus Lara, right? I reckon there's some dodgy score, because even for Dubois Joyce, they put the scorecards out. I reckon there's some, I reckon there might be a few dodgy scorecards there. I reckon there's a dodgy scorecard there. Good evening from the judge. Yeah, Judge Duran. Durham, big up. Ivan, big up. Big up to the judge to create controversy. Dubois beats... Someone actually asked me that, and where are we? Yeah, Dubois versus Ajagba. Man, I think Ajagba needs serious work, mate. Serious work. I think F.A. Ajagba, at the very least 2 years of steadily, like, I mean, I'm talking steadily increasing. Seriously, I genuinely think they need to steadily increase that. They steadily will need to increase him over 2 years. Genuinely. Don't mind Richards, but Bivol will destroy him in 2. Bivol's quite patient, but I genuinely can't see Richards lasting that long, to be honest with you. You know, I like Craig Richards, I really do. He's a good fighter, but it's just too much of a jump. It's just way too much of a jump for my... If I was managing Craig Richards, if I was managing Craig Richards, I'd say, look, mate, it's a world title. I know it is, but you gotta think sensibly here. Like, what are they offering you enough? Is it enough? You're taking a serious... You've gone from fighting on a Mick Hennessy card to fighting Dimitri Bivol. You know, I don't know. I really don't. Dubois will come again under Mark Tibbs. I'm going to tell you this now, right? I think I might have already said it once already in a live stream, but I Mark Tibbs is a good trainer, don't get me wrong, but I think Dubois, just from a mental point of view, because we all know Dubois is very socially awkward. We know he's very shy. He's not really an out there sort of guy. He's very interlone. He really is just, he really does keep to himself, right? I think that having a trainer, and I think Ben Davison is a good trainer. I think having a trainer like Ben Davison, having a young face and being in camp, this is one thing that I think will help Dubois exponentially, right? From a mental point of view. Ben Davison has Josh Taylor, Lee McGregor, Lee Woods. Who else does he have? He's got a few fighters in that camp, right? He's got a few. Having a young camp like that, where it's a bunch of lads all in around the same age, they all seem like good fun. They all seem to have a good bit of banter. Having an environment like that may help Daniel Dubois exponentially. Seriously, I'm not talking just from a technical point of view, but it may actually bring something out of him. He's already got that bit of a mean streak in him, but I think he needs to just develop certain credit. I think he needs to just develop his character. I think being in camp with those guys, because they are quite good characters, so having guys like Josh Taylor, Ben Davis, and having the lads, having a kind of like a proper banter with them, I think that would be very good. I think that would help him exponentially. Just my opinion, but we'll see. Mark Tibbs is training with Billy Joe in Spain. Yeah, Billy Joe was going to that Canelo fight, I think, mate. Fury is in terrible condition at the moment. He was shocking to see the size of his belly. Looks like he hasn't trained in a long time. I done the video on that. Terrible condition. I wouldn't necessarily say that. In amazing shape, definitely not. But I've seen him look a lot worse whilst he's been, having his pro career outside of camp. For me, I wouldn't be worrying too much about it personally. All right, I don't think he's in amazing shape, but for me, I don't think it's anything that would raise alarms, raise eyebrows. For me, it's just like meh. Yeah, I would like to see him in better condition. It is making me, but I will tell you this: I am starting to sway from my original prediction. I'm starting to think about it because the inactivity more so. The inactivity. Would it be shock if Fury KOs AJ? No, wouldn't shock me in the slightest if he knocked AJ out. I'd love to see that fight, but I can't. I don't think Wilder, that's an easy win for Wilder, in my opinion. Stylistically, easy win. But I just can't see that happening. Cannot see that happening. I thought you said Fury. G-Man, is boxing almost back to normal in the UK? Well, it's back to normal more or less. It's more or less back to where it should be in a sense of we're getting the major shows. But you need to remember that there was loads of small hall shows going every single week in the UK that we're not seeing now. And put it like this, when I was over in London, right, last February, one thing I wanted to do was catch a small hall show because I know there'd be lots of them in London. And I think there was some in Bolton, there was some in Manchester, there was one I think Birmingham. I think there was one in London, but not in London City. It was miles away. But these were all on, this was just to name a few. There was loads of them. So in terms of having regular fights, no, we're miles away from that. But in terms of the big cards, yeah. But there's fun to be had at small hall shows. They're expensive in Ireland anyway. Believe you me, they're expensive over here. Believe you me, it's cost me more money to attend small hall shows over here in Ireland than it has to go to shows up in Belfast. Big shows, Frank Warren shows. I've been to 2 in Belfast, and I've been to 2. I've been to one in Cork, and I've been to 1 in Dublin. The one in Dublin wasn't too bad because it's in Dublin. It still cost me 60 quid, I think it was, for the tickets. It was dear. The one in Cork was just between hotels. It cost me €100 for fuel because I spent 50 quid driving down and 50 quid driving up. And yeah, Belfast cost me a hell of a lot less. That was Frampton versus, we'll say a Fury versus, what was the guy, Pianetta in Windsor Park. And it pissed rain. It was absolute horrible, so it was. Because there's no roof on Windsor Park. It absolutely pissed rain. It was absolutely destroyed. But it was a fun night. The British Boxing Board of Control generally do a good job, but are losing credibility by the week. It's interesting, this sort of scoring shit. Yeah, just difficult to resign. Yeah, man. I think we'll see pretty regular scorecards this weekend, now that I think about it. I really do. I think we'll see pretty regular scorecards this week. I think that I think the backlash is being heard. When you have Rob Smith coming out saying, oh, well, what do they know? It's like, well, the fact that you're addressing it anyway shows that there's something there. It's hitting the nerve. Even if you're going to turn around and be like, oh, yeah, you people who don't know this, yous are full of this. Well, it's like, at least you're addressing it. At least you actually care. And at least it's actually doing something that you actually feel the need to address it. And Rob Smith's an idiot, by the way. No time for him. Frampton fight postponed. Man, his hands are brittle. I find it amazing that he uses Everlast gloves, which are like the worst gloves for your hands. And then he complains that he has hand issues. I do find that quite funny. Like, look at Frampton's glove. He uses MX Everlast. They are literally the worst. If you have hand trouble, do not use Everlast MX gloves. Use Fly gloves, use Winning gloves. Don't use MX Everlast. And they're what he uses. Oh, mate. I just... Frampton... They pushed it back by a month. My prediction is not going to change. I'm still going with Herring on points. Personally, that's my pick. Fury should have... Yeah, I believe me, for everything. Even as you say, mental health, JDev. I believe that as well. Like, just believe me, having the just the energy to get up and go gives you something to look forward to, basically. That's why I love doing these live streams. So I love doing all, like, talking all this, because it just, even if I don't have a job or anything like that, I do, obviously, but it just gives me that little bit of extra get up and go. Like, I got to talk to you guys on the stream twice a week and do this, just everything about it. Fury thinks a 5-mile jog now and again and a few rounds on the pads is ticking over. I think he's in trouble. Few people are saying that. It's making me think as well, mate. It is. It's making me think as well. Fury should definitely have a fight rate. Oh, man, 100%. 100% I do. I really do. I really do. Do you reckon Fury started with the mind games? It could be that, but I don't know. Some people have alluded to that. I don't know, man. I think Frank Warren can't afford to pay Fury. Well, I think Bob Arum would probably dive in as well. But yeah, he's going nearly bankrupt, Frank Warren. Yeah, he ain't doing too good. He ain't doing too good these days. Well, he said, gee, what do you think of Mayweather versus Paul? I don't think, mate. I just literally just... I don't, like, I've not done a video on it. I don't talk about that. I just let it go over my head. That fight, it's not really a fight. It's just let them have it. Let them do what they want to do and be done with it. I remember Dwyer done like a 30-minute video on how... What was it? He done like a 30-minute video on how Canelo would beat Wilder. I mean, big up to Richard Dwyer every single time. The legend, Richard Dwyer. My intro was good. I got tie-in boots and I got that nice little intro that cost me 60 quid. But hey, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this a second opinion from a complete stranger online. That is the best intro on YouTube. Nick says 55 in the chat. Smash the like button. 55 in the chat, right? And we have 37 likes. If you could smash the like button, we get this to 40. Please. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. Doesn't cost anything, man. Doesn't cost anything. Fury isn't working as hard as AJ, in my opinion. AJ looks in decent shape from his pose, but AJ's always in shape, He's always in very, very good shape. I actually want to ask this question. Am I the only one who's never seen Johnny Fisher in the amateurs? I've never heard of him. And I don't religiously follow amateur boxing, right? I don't religiously follow it. But I've never heard of the guy. Honestly, like, there are amateurs up and coming who I've heard of. I've never heard of Johnny. Has anyone seen him? Because I genuinely am stumped. I've heard of guys who they have coming through, guys from Team GB, this, that, and the other, even some of the guys Frank Warren's side. I've literally, as I said, never heard of this guy. Never heard of him as an amateur. So if anyone wants to forgive my ignorance and enlighten me to Johnny Hedges, maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, I don't know. Never heard of the guy. Fury will lose against AJ. There was a reason he wanted a tune-up fight in December. Too much money involved to say no now. Yeah, the inactivity is a very real thing. It's a very real thing, and it's making me worry about. It's making me worry as well, because I'm just thinking, how is he going to look? Do you know what? But the thing about Fury is he's surprised me so many times. Like Fury coming back against Wilder and having those two tune-up fights. And let's face facts, they were horrific. Now, he was able to go in there and perform against Wilder. And that was a Fury who was still nowhere near his peak, nowhere near his best. He can surprise me. He can surprise me. He does surprise me, Tyson Fury. So maybe, who knows? The inactivity might not play a factor. I think Fury Lewis would be a good fight. Would give the edge to Lennox Lewis, but wouldn't be surprised if Fury gets into his head. Lewis is good at the mind games. He's good at getting around the mind games. But Fury, I mean, look at what he did against Vlad. That whole steam room scene, that really did it. That did it for me. That for me was when it was like, right, I think Fury's got this. You know, remembering that whole sauna thing when he's like, who got out first, Vlad? Who got out first? You did. That's a mental victory. You could see Klitschko's expression just be like, you could see deep down he was smiling, Klitschko, and you could tell underneath it he was just like, fuck you, buddy. Fuck you. You know? Be like going to like your ex or someone like that. Imagine you're out with your ex and she's still crazy about you, right? And she's with her fella, and you're trying to like fuck with the fella, and you're just like, yeah, she's with you. She still looks at me, but I don't text back. And deep down, he's looking at you like, fuck you, G. Not that I do that, lads. I'm just using it as an analogy. No, just using it as an analogy, lads. As an analogy, all right? That was the Usyk Joyce fight would be interesting. In my opinion, Usyk would try and get Joyce, get into Joyce's head, but I doubt that Joyce would bite. Yeah, Joe Joyce seems to be very, and Sam Jones, having Sam Jones there as a mouthpiece as well. I like Sam Jones, lads. Some people don't like him. I like Sam Jones. I remember the first time I ever seen him in an interview was when Joe Joyce was sparring Duran, and he was on with Michelle Joyce. You see Sam Jones, little Sam Jones coming up. He's like, yo, Duran, worst heavyweight I ever seen. Worst heavyweight I ever seen. Joe just beat the dreadlocks off him. Worst heavyweight I've ever seen. And you just Joe Joyce there, like, yeah, he was just like, ugh. Oh, Joe, worst heavyweight I've ever seen. Big up Sam Jones. Big up Sam Jones. He is. I like Sam Jones. Buster Douglas was down longer than 10 seconds. The rest is history. That referee in that fight was garbage. Octavio Moran. Oh, he was garbage, that referee. Not just because, look, he counted them both slow. It was pretty much identical. But like the amount of fouls from both guys he let go in that fight. It's actually hard to watch the amount of hitting on the brakes and all he let go. Yeah. He lost that fight. He definitely lost that fight. Lads, I am missing so many comments. It's not even funny. I'm probably miles away. I'm miles behind. Lads, apologies. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip a few because I feel bad for some of you guys. I don't want to miss all you. Like before I said, Timmy Nielsen, forgot about you. Big up, man. Eddie Hearn destroyed Warren's career. Lara unknown, but even in build-up was talk that he could whack. That's the first legit puncher I think they've ever put Josh Warrington in with, whether it be with him or whether it be with Fish Eyes. Warrington said he wants an immediate rematch. Yeah, I don't think that's going to go well for Josh Warrington. I can see that guy. I seen it. I seen the thing he posted up on Twitter. I'll see the thing you posted up on Twitter. I'll see if the lighting is any better now. Is that? No. Fuck. I thought I had, because I had the thing playing in the background, it might increase the light. Because I like going on camera for these, but the light in this room is so bad. Like literally, that light is on full blast. I have a light over there, and I've got like these going, because I like candles. And yeah, literally, the light is terrible in here. But I'm gonna stick with it for a little bit. Why not? Lewis beat every man he ever faced. Son. He's the Don when it comes there. Yeah, man. Everyone, by way of rematch, he beat everyone he ever faced. Dubois, I'd say Billy Joe would have a field day at the start. Can you imagine? Because Billy Joe could be a bit of a tease, I reckon. I reckon he would have a field day with Dubois if he was really like going in there and let him, have a chat with him. Oh, Dan, what's up? Could the Fury video have been older, but only recently uploaded, or was it done live? I don't know. See, some people are saying that in Morecambe it was snowing and you wouldn't go anywhere near it. See that? Well, I don't know where Morecambe is, but I honestly couldn't tell you. Maybe. See, I'm just trying to think, when would that have been though? And maybe not. Someone said to me earlier that Fury was, well, not earlier, but I seen someone say it in Twitter. Someone that Fury was in California, not California, Florida. That lighting is crap. That Fury is in California or something like that, or Florida. So I don't know, man. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. Anyone know what the bookies are odds? Yeah, I would wait until that's closer to the fight, mate, because right now they could be, and I wouldn't say they change much, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say they change much. What's that say? G-Man, you're absolutely right. Fury's inactive doesn't sit well with him. Yeah, man, I can't see that working in Fury's favor, to be honest with you. I think that to me is just no. Do you class? Oh, hell yeah. No, I would actually say 55-45 in favor of Josh Taylor, right? I'll rate Josh Taylor. I think he's the best 140-pounder in the world, but I rate Ramirez as well. I think some people look at Ramirez against fights like Victor Postal, I should say, and against Cepeda, and they'd be like, yeah, but they were close competitive fights. I'm like, yeah, they were, but when you look at Ramirez when he's switched on and he's on form and he's really singing and he's firing all cylinders, he is beautiful to watch. I'm picking Josh Taylor to win the fight. Definitely, maybe even 60-40, but I definitely think that Taylor, it's going to be a tough fight. Don't think that it's just going to be Josh Taylor going in there winning easy. No, he's going to have to dig deep in there. And Ramirez can crack too, lest we forget. Ramirez can crack. Thanks for the updates on UK boxing. I'm glad to see boxing still going. I'm eager to watch my first boxing match since yeah, I know, mate. You see, that's why 2020 was annoying, because I always like to get to at least one, maybe even two live shows a year. I like the atmosphere. The atmosphere at live shows is nice. Even if I don't know the fighters, even if I'm there just as a fan, it's just nice. I've gone to, every show I've been at, I've brought someone. But hopefully when there's God knows, now doing YouTube and all, if I go to live shows, I'm more so trying to get interviews. But I like going to at least one show a year just to enjoy it, just for the enjoyment factor. And who knows, whenever they let fans back in, maybe I'll go to a show as a fan, bring the missus or someone, whoever, bring herself and let her enjoy it. Whoever, whenever. But yeah, I like going as a fan as well. Going to live shows are fun. I've actually, believe it or not, I've never been to a Matchroom show yet. I've never gone to an Eddie Hearn show. There was a few times we talked about it, but we never got around to it. Me and some of the lads we never got around to it, but I'd love to go to an Eddie Hearn show. I've been to Frank Warren. Frank Warren is the only one. I've been to a couple of, like I said, small shows here, nothing major. I've been to Frank Warren once. It was all right. But man, I want to see a Matchroom show. He's already been made. Yeah, I know. I seen that, man. I seen that. See, Billy Joe has not been inactive necessarily. Billy Joe only fought in Christmas, but I think he means that Billy Joe needs to have consistent fights before he goes in there. Just crazy. G-Man, read online, Canelo eats a diet of fruit, veg, meat, and fish. How any human could do that along with his training routines is nuts. I believe it or not, like I would say that a lot of old school, like I remember Rocky Marciano, they used to say he used to only eat one meal a day, but it was a massive meal. They said, I remember watching a documentary about him, and they said that at the end of every day when he finished training, he'd eat 3 pounds of steak, greens, and potatoes. That was his dinner. And he was fine with the stamina. It depends. Some people's bodies just, you got to find what works for you. Like, I mean, they could put Canelo on a high calorie diet, which would be, you know, give him energy and stuff like that. He might end up looking crap. He might be crap. It depends what works for your body, works for you. Like for me, I've always been someone who I need carbs in my diet. If I don't have carbs in my diet, I am like, I'm missing a gear. I'm missing the cylinder in my engine, literally. If I don't have them, I need them. Otherwise, I'm just knackered the whole time. So I've tried it before, and I remember one of my friends, he had a crash a couple of years ago, and he went on the low carbs. He fell asleep behind the wheel, and he was like, yeah, I blame it on that. And I was like, it had nothing to do with the fact it was 3:30 in the morning on a Saturday night and you fell asleep behind the wheel. No, it was the low carb diet. Of course it was. Of course it was. Just got notification we had about 17 inches of snow in the last 3 days. Tony Boswell, big up to you, my man, every time. I'm glad you're in the building. Is that in where Morecambe is, where the snow is? Because it's actually really nice in Dublin. It's cold, but it's really nice. Big up to Nick. If he's good, lads. On the way in, on the way out. Yeah, big up, much respect. But you know what, right? That is a good question. Because Wilder never landed. Wilder never landed any decent shots on Tyson Fury near the cut in order to be able to open it or anything like that. I've said it once and I'll say it again, right? Look at Vitaly Klitschko when he fought Kevin Johnson. Name escaped me. When he fought Kevin Johnson, and look at the damage to his face from jabs that Johnson was landing. Johnson's not a puncher. The scar tissue was still there. Now that was what, 7, 8 years after the fact. You're talking nearly 2 years later, potentially. I suspect Tyson Fury, the minute AJ starts landing, and AJ's got a good jab, he could be in trouble with that cut. I really do think that. I really do think that. You're a G-Man. Would a prime GGG be a prime Canelo? Prime for prime? They're always going to have great fights. Prime for prime. I might still go with Canelo. Because I don't even know if Canelo was actually even hit his prime yet. Because he's still only 30. He's still getting better. With GGG, the prime GGG was the GG who fought Lemieux. That was him at his peak. That was him at his absolute peak. That was prime Triple G when he fought David Lemieux. As far as I'm concerned, that was him at the peak of his powers. He's never been as good, probably from just everything clicking since then. That was him at his absolute peak. Yeah, Klitschko was embarrassed. He definitely was. Believe you. I know what you're saying that too when I said about the boyfriend girlfriend kind of thing. No. Well, no. I've definitely had situations where I've not been seeing a girl, but I know someone has been like deliberately like, you know, focus on me, don't focus on G, don't focus on G, don't focus on me, you know, even, you know, you understand, yeah, focus on me. That's how he talks. Like, yeah, focus on me, you understand, yeah, don't focus on G, you know, I'm the man, you know, I'm 5'2" and fucking can barely see over me steering wheel that I can't drive, you know, that kind of way. And it's just like, all right, man, all right. I'll leave you at that. I'll leave it at that. But yeah. Yeah. You think Fury putting on a little bit more weight for the fight, it made a hell of a difference for the Wilder fight? Yeah, I really did think that Fury, like genuinely, when I saw the weigh-in for Fury Wilder, I thought he's blown it. Obviously, John Fury knew more than me. He obviously knew a lot more than me. Klitschko looked like Fury had asked him if his missus still Klitschko's Mrs. Hayden Panettiere. Is that her name, or Pana something? Oh, they're not actually together anymore, I don't think. All right, someone's going to have to help me with this. Leicestershire. Is Manchester in Leicestershire? I know that's in the north of the UK. I don't know where that is though. Is Manchester in Leicestershire? Answers on a postcard, because I'm not sure. CRB1, thank you for the 3 quid. Fury Joshua ain't happening. Remember, I told you. I don't know. I genuinely think it will. Right? I genuinely, hand on my heart, think it will. But you know what worries me? It's like people are saying about Fury with the whole, you know, the inactivity, this, that, and the other. That's the kind of worry. Would they try something just to get Fury as in between fight, just to kill them? Because he's talking about Billy Joe being inactive, going into a big fight against Canelo. He's inactive, you know? So if he's worrying about inactivity by saying that about Billy Joe and saying that about Josh Warrington, I don't know, man. I think it will happen. I genuinely do. I think it will happen, but it is an interesting one. Prediction on that. I'm going with Wallen to win the fight via stoppage on cuts. On cuts. Yeah. I'm going genuinely. He's a slashing puncher, is Otto Wallen. So I'm thinking he might win it on cuts as opposed to actually stopping Brazil. Brazil can punch. Don't get me wrong. Brazil can punch. But I'm thinking Otto Wallen to win on cuts. Because Brazil, let's face facts, is not hard to hit. Now, I've seen slow fighters. And then I've seen Dominic Brazil. I mean, god damn it. Oh, mate. Drastic Aura, big up. What's up, G-Man? Big ups. Thank you, my man. You going with Brazil Wallen to win on points? No, I genuinely think cuts. I genuinely think cuts. Oh, Chris is asking, this is a good question. Why wouldn't there be more fight nights in Ireland? I've thought Michael Connellan and Kay Taylor will be able to fill out venues. Well, Connellan could fill a venue out in Belfast, but in Dublin, I don't know about that. Even though his family, I don't know if they're originally from Dublin, but he's got family in Dublin. I know that. I don't know if he could fill it. He might be able to. He might fill. Would he fill the Tree Arena? I don't know. Katie Taylor definitely would. There's a lot of issues with running the show in Dublin if you're a big promoter and you're putting someone like Katie Taylor on. It's nothing to do with the fact she's female. There's a few issues which I'm not going to get into, you know, that stem from things. I'm not really going to get into it, but there is a few issues with Katie Taylor. That's why I can't see her ever fighting in Ireland. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. With Mick Connellan, well, he is managed by MTK, and well, I'll leave it at that. You know, MTK in Ireland, and believe me, it's not MTK. It's the Irish flipping media who are absolute idiots who say weird, like say dumb shit. That's one reason, because MTK went for about 2 years without even saying a word to Irish media. This was a couple of years ago. So there's a lot of reasons. But Connellan, if he boxed in Dublin, which is now ain't going to happen, ain't going to happen. And like I remember someone said to me about Fury, they said they thought Fury AJ might happen in Dublin if fans are allowed in. And I was like, no way. There is a variety of reasons why that fight would never happen in Dublin, not least the fact that they wouldn't let fans in. I said there's a variety of reasons. And I think the main reason actually for Fury is because there would be, well, the last time he was meant to come to Dublin, I think I've said this story several times, they wrote on the Helix, another, you know, traveling family, basically don't come here or there'll be problems. And I was going to that. And I was fucking glad that that it got cancelled, because God knows what would have happened. So there's a variety of reasons, but neither of them will fight in Ireland anytime soon. If you're talking about Belfast, yeah, sure, no problem. But the Republic, the whole, no way. Not going to happen anytime soon. Would rather... Conlon is not... Yeah. I will... If he's fighting Isaac Dogbay next, that's going to be interesting. That's an interesting fight. Isaac Dogbe. I honestly think Josh has got this. He handled Postel a little better than he did. And there you go, lads. We want to talk about dodgy scorecards. Look at the scorecards for Postel versus Taylor. They were dodgy. They were dodgy scorecards. They were very dodgy scorecards. As an Irishman, G-Man can't operate without potatoes. I don't really eat it. I eat more rice and pastas than I eat potatoes. I don't really eat potatoes too much, believe it or not. Like potatoes, you very rarely see me actually eat potatoes in my diet. Very rare, actually. When do I ever eat potatoes? Like if I'm very rare, actually, I do, to be honest with you. More a rice guy. Rice and pasta. Yeah, Aviva Stadium, Croke Park. Oh, Croke Park could do with 80,000. Croke Park's 80,000. It's a lot bigger than that. And that's not including the fact that Croke Park could do 80,000. It's 80,000 plus. They'll get rid of the pitch and they'll put the fans in. So, yeah, Croke Park is only like less than a half hour from my front door. The Aviva is right in the center of the city. Like, no, it's not. It's more so the south side. But yeah, the Aviva will be all right as well. Yo, Chris just hit 700. Lads, if he's having broken nose boxing, go over there and subscribe. Great channel. 700 subs. How long did it take me to hit 700 subs? It took me a while. It took me about 10 months to get to 1,000. And now I'm on, how many exactly am I on? I'm on exactly 3,555. So it took me a year to get to that. And since then, once you hit 1,000 subs, believe me, I don't know why, YouTube just, it starts rolling a bit. Because it took me nearly a year to get to 1,000. And now I'm on 3,500. I'm on the right side of the 3,000s. 4K by April, maybe. 4K by April, because I've already gained 200 subs in the last 2 weeks. So it's been good. It's been good. It's been good. I just think since Fury changed his style, to handle more athletic fighters, he went back to old school fighting, leaning on them, making it real rough. Fury retire undefeated. Look, he very well might. He's the only one who can now at this stage. If he beats AJ and he beats him even more convincingly in the rematch, then yeah, I reckon whoever, if we see 2 fights and the same guy wins both times, I can't see them staying on. I see them retiring. Seriously. Tibbs has a very young stable of fighters. Johnny Hedges. I've seen his pro debut, lads. He lost his pro debut. He got a dodgy scorecard. I'm telling you that now. He got a very dodgy scorecard. I remember watching Johnny Hedges' pro debut. He looked terrible. Morecambe is in Leicestershire. Manchester is in Greater Manchester. Or Manchester is in Leicestershire. It's in Lancashire. I don't know why I was saying Leicestershire. Yeah, it's in Lancashire. Okay. Because I don't know the counties. I actually thought Stockport was the actual county Manchester was in. Then I find out, no, it's not. So yeah, my counties in the UK are not. My counties in Ireland aren't great either, to be honest with you. I know a few of them, because I'm never going to many of them counties. I know the West, and the people in the West, some of them are flipping a mess. Some of them are the best people I've ever met. But some of them are fucking hillbillies, I swear. Down the south can be so rude. North, they're all right. And then you got where Dublin is, which is grand. Big up to Ra, #GMan's Rocks. There we go. Got Wallen late. Yeah, I'm going with late K. Not a TKO, stoppage on cuts, I'm reckon stoppage on cuts. The split between Tibbs and White was harsh. Probably stuff going on behind the scenes we haven't heard of. They took it. Yeah. I reckon there's more to it. They said it was just geography, like geographically, but I reckon there might have been a few more things to that meets the eye with him and Dylan White. He done a great work on Dylan White. Lest we forget that. He did do a great job on Dylan White, but I do think there is more to that than meets the eye, just in my opinion. But well, we may never know. You see, a lot of times you find these out in like their biographies. Who was it? I remember it wasn't actually a boxer. It was an F1 guy called Joe Ramirez. He's still alive. And he retired because He retired in like the 2000s. He was like a engineer basically, and he was in behind the scenes with McLaren, the F1 team. And like he would have known all. He spent years and years and years. He knew all the secrets, knew this, that, and the other. And when he retired, he was told by Ron Dennis, who was the boss of McLaren at the time, "Don't write an autobiography. No one will read it." And he said it wasn't because no one would read it. He said it was just because there's so much stuff in there that he wouldn't like, basically, which is crazy. So some people don't like when they write an autobiography. They're just like, no, don't say this. G-Man, who wins? Ramirez. Demetrius Andre versus Liam Williams. I'm thinking Demetrius Andre on points. I do. Liam Williams is good, but I definitely think that Demetrius Andre is going to take this on points. It really is. For me, this is Demetrius Andre's make or break moment. It really is. This is make or break for Demetrius Andre. I'm serious. I've rated him. I've defended him. Now, I've not defended him when he's not due defense, but I've always said I feel Demetrius Andre is a good fighter. So, for me, this is last. This is for me. This is either the coming out party for where we see how good Demetrius Andre really is, or he goes and gets battered. Basically, have I seen the clips of Yildirim training? No, I haven't. I'll have to have a look at that then. I still can't see anything other than an early win for Canelo. I really can't, lads. Like, I'd be amazed if this fight is competitive. I'd be amazed. Seriously, if this fight, I mean, no. G-Man, what about, oh, good Lord, it's in Irish. Parkun Cueva is how you, I think that's how you're saying it, in Cork for a big fight night. Where is that? Is that like Cork's football stadium? Because I don't know Cork too well. I've only been down there a few times. See, I don't really know myself, Nick, but I definitely know that there was they were told in the Helix in Dublin not to come here. So I don't know. The last man to fight in Croke Park was Muhammad Ali. It was. What do we got here? Sexy, quite. You always ask me one of these. Wait a minute, G-Man. When was a lad there? When G-Man was a lad, there was a girls' band called Bewitched. Rank the members of the band. I heard of them all right, but like, Jesus, you're talking. They were in the 90s, mate. I was only a little. Like, I was born in 93. I think they were around in like 97. I don't remember them. I remember the name all right, but I don't remember them. You know, the Corrs I've heard of, the Corr sisters. Sharon Corr was the best looking, in my opinion. There was 3 of them. I think Sharon Corr was the best looking, in my opinion. I do remember, but I don't remember any of them. I don't know who the hell they were. I was a kid, mate. I was a kid. Like, someone asked me a question about Ginger Spice once, and I was like, which one is that? I didn't have a breeze which one she was, and then someone said it was Jerry Halliwell. So that's not, yeah. I think Sharon Corr was the best looking out of the Corr sisters, in my opinion. Queensbury, what? Jesus Christ, man. How Queensbury is still going, I do not know. Whoa. Thought split because the B sample went cold on white. I mean, God only knows. We probably will hear about it one day. Yeah, Sharon Corr ain't bad. I think she was the best looking out of all of them. I forget the names of them. What were the names, actually? I just remember her because she was the best looking, in my opinion. What were the names out of them? There was a lad in there as well. What was the names? I think one was called Andrea, definitely. It was Sharon, Andrea, and Caroline. And yeah, Sharon Corr definitely the best looking out of all 3. Just even today, she's definitely the best looking out of all 3. I think she's in her 50s though. But yeah, she was definitely the best looking out of all 3 of them. Definitely. A bit like any of their songs. Their songs were crap, but Sharon Corr was the best. I think she played the violin or something. Yeah, Frank in trouble. Yeah, he is. Yeah, Timmy. Big up to Timmy. Subscribing to Chris. Big up to Timmy. Where was it? I missed that. I'm missing loads of them. Okay. Park and Kit. Thank you for not putting it in Irish because I was struggling there. Yeah, it is their GAA stadium. Believe you me, those GAA stadiums hold a good few people. So they could do them in the GAA stadiums. I think Andy Lee originally, if anyone remembers this, originally was meant to fight Billy Joe in Limerick. Originally, they were going to do that in a stadium in Limerick. Forget the name of Limerick Stadium. I think they play rugby in there. I think Munster play rugby in there. And you remember that? That was the original place where they were going to do Billy Joe versus Andy Lee. Didn't happen. They ended up having it in London, I think. But that would have been nice to have a stadium fight in Limerick. You know, I've never been to Limerick myself personally, but would have been nice. I don't know Limerick too well. Tormund Park, thank you. That was it in Limerick. Never been to Limerick. It's one of the few counties I've not been to. I've been to most counties in Ireland, but I've not been there. If Canelo Yildirim is competitive, then it will make Eubank. That will make Eubank. Eubank will be absolutely. You can pick an interview from Eubank. Will just be coming straight out. So hang on a second. You offer G-Man Michelle Joy? No, Michelle Joy Phelps. No. The brother of the course. Oh Jesus! Yeah, the brother of the course. Dean White, Dean Paveckin in a dress, 3-ups court. That's why whenever I see Jay Dev in the chat, I'm just like, oh no, what the fuck is he gonna ask me this time? I'm just like, what the fuck is he actually gonna ask me this time? Jesus, man. I give you an answer though. I said out of all the cores, the only one is Sharon Course, the only nice one. 60 in the building. If you could actually hang on, how many likes do we have? I'm not gonna ask. Just gonna leave that on screen. I'm not gonna ask. 52. Boom. Can we get 60? Who should Eubank Jr. fight next? That's a good question. He's gonna need. It won't be anyone decent. He's been out of the ring for over a year. He's been out of the ring for over a year. So who would I say? Who would I pick him? Who would I say would he go against? It'd be someone at middleweight. Probably someone not very good, to be honest with you. Probably someone. No, they wouldn't. I was going to say someone like Jason Wellborn, but probably not. I don't know. It's a weird one. Do you know who I would pick if he ever moved up to middleweight? Who I'd be like to you? If I was in Team Eubank, I'd be like, fight him. He's a decent name. I'd be picking Eubank Jr. over Jarrett Hurd every day of the week. If Jarrett Hurd moved up to middleweight, I'd be like to Eubank. I'd be like, you should win that fight. Pretty straightforward. The guy is not a good back foot boxer. He comes forward. He'd probably be bigger than Eubank, but Eubank's fought at super middle, so he's used to that. And I think Eubank would light him up. I'd be like, that'd be it. If I was in Team Eubank, I'd be like, see if you can get him to 160 and fight someone like a Jarrett Hurd. I think Eubank would light him up. Jarrett Hurd cannot really box on the back foot. He's always looked terrible on it. And I'd be like, he's going to come straight forward at you. He's a huge target. He's got no defense. Look at the uppercut that J-Rock landed on Jarrett Hurd. You can throw better uppercuts. You can throw harder uppercuts. I'd be like, if I was Calla Sauerland, I'd be like, get rid of, never mind your trip to Bolivia. Get Jarrett Hurd in the ring. That's what I'd be saying. You know, Alex Jones, do we have Chinese food? And of course we do. Where I live in Swords, they're all crap. To be fair, there's nowhere nice. But yeah, of course we do. They've all you can eat Chinese places as well. But yeah, of course we do, man. Of course, Chinese food over here. Chinese, Indian, Thai, all that. But where I have, there's no nice places to get Chinese. They're all crap. But yeah, Jesus. I remember I worked with a lad from where was it? Darlington. I think that's in Middlesbrough. And not only did he quickly not believe that we had Chinese food in Ireland, he was like, you get like BBC, you get ITV, you just watch the in-betweeners. It's like, mate, it's Ireland. Like, it's not like you're coming to a third world country. Like, literally, we have everything that the UK, we don't have Greg's, but we have like Nando's, everything like that. Five Guys, Nando's. You're not going to a third world country. Like, you know, some people can't really get that into their head. Like, we don't have Greg's, but I've never been much of a pastry guy anyway, so it doesn't bother me. But yeah, we have Nando's. Nando's is good. I haven't had Nando's in a while, actually. Gee, man, there's a handy one 68 fighter from Cork called Callum Walsh, just moved to the US, has an amateur record of 106. Watch out for him. I'm always interested in Irish fighters turning over because we don't have a lot of them. We really don't. We really don't have a lot of promising fighters at the minute. And the problem as well is the way young pros are handled over here is an absolute joke. It really is. I mean, like if you're, say you're an amateur who's just turning over, maybe you've done a few decent things in the amateur games. Maybe the pro style is more suited to you. Maybe you're quite useful. At best, at very best, even before the lockdown, right? At the very best in Ireland, you'd be getting 3 fights a year. If you doing 3 fights a year and you were just turning over as a pro, you'd be doing very well. If after maybe 3-4 years of being a pro, you were 8-0, 10-0, you're doing very well for yourself, because that's how little the fighters over here get. And a lot of them are decent fighters. They just don't get any exposure or anything like that. And then when they do take fights and they get put on Sky shows, a lot of the times it's on short notice. So they're coming over and they're like, crap, such and such has got 8 weeks, 10 weeks. I've got 5 weeks. Makes a difference, mate. It does make a difference. Oh, let's see. Jamie Stewart drew at Marku. That wasn't a draw. That was a robbery. Drew at Marku fighting 3-0 Elliot Whale on fight night. Another defeat. Another defeated opponent for Stewart. Is that actually on the Sky show? Like, is that literally on this weekend? Jamie Stewart's not bad. He's actually useful. He beat Mick Hennessy Jr. Mick Hennessy, Shades of Ali's son. He beat him on points. He's not bad. Whoa. Bitcoin at 52,000. I need to get invested in that. I have the apps, but I'm trying to do as much research on it before I start going in depth on it. But Bitcoin, man, I was watching The Wire's video on that, and he was insisting that you need to invest in all three: Bitcoin, gold, and silver. So I may end up looking at going down that route, doing all three. You got to start planning ahead, man. These are uncertain times. You got to. I'm looking seriously at these things. What do you think of Jordan Gill? Man, I'm telling you now, I might even pick the Mexican to beat Jordan Gill. Seriously, Jordan Gill got battered, a year and a half ago by that unknown. He was Mexican as well. He got battered from pillar to post and he quit. He quit in the corner. So yeah, that to me, that the jury's still out on Jordan Gill, to be honest with you. I don't think he's really gonna do much, to be honest with you. He's trained by Dave Colwell. Yeah. Jamie Stewart, I think the zone commentators on Ting said that Stewart just comes to fight. He just wants to have a fight more so than anything else. Holy shit, I need to get looking at this Bitcoin. I'm listening to some videos on it, and I'm definitely going to be having more of a look on this. Did you mention Nando's or Five Guys? Oh, definitely Five Guys, definitely. I love Nando's. I love chicken, but Five Guys I haven't had Five Guys in about 2 years though. And there's one in Swords, which is crazy. I never go to it. But yeah, I love Five Guys. I love Five Guys. I do. There's one in Swords. I never ever go to it. I actually, since that's opened, I've never been to it. I only ever went to the one in Dundrum, which is like 40 minutes away from me. That's the only one I've ever been to. But yeah, I like it. It's really nice. We went there. Me and my friend went there on opening weekend. and the queue in the Dundrum Centre was like crazy long. Like, we were queuing for nearly an hour, and there was 2 people behind us in the queue, and they were so flipping, and they were really like loud, and they were like, "Ah, man, you want to see what we did last night? And we were listening to this for like 5 minutes, right? We were like, you want to see what we did last night? It was this, that, and the other." And like, yeah, I was like, yeah, you want to see what we did? It was like, I turned to my friend and I was like, geez, I just whispered it. I was like, geez, them lads are very annoying, aren't they? And my mate was like, they sound a bit like, I just got to say that, I'm not going to say they're fun, but they sound a bit like Paddy and Dave, don't they? They're 2 lads we'd know. Yeah, they do sound a bit. Yo, lads, that you? I was like, yo, gee, is that you? I was like, what the fuck it is? Of all places, we meet two lads from Swords in the queue to five guys in Dundrum, 5 minutes away. Yeah, we were listening to them. We were only moaning about them, but yeah. I've been Dundrum in ages, actually. Dundrum Centre is nice. But if someone put up the odds on that, where's the... I'm sure I seen someone put the odds. Oh yeah, it's on screen. Fuck. Jesus. I was wondering... Fucking hell. Yeah, you can tell I've been talking a while. Yeah, saying 10-1 on stoppage. I might even stick a fiver on that. Stick a cheeky fiver on that. Because I'm not convinced of Jordan Gill at all on that. I'm not convinced at all. I might even stick a cheeky fiver on that. I'm going to have to watch the Wires video again on Bitcoin. Because he even left a link to the website. I definitely have to get invested in that. Seriously need to get looking into Bitcoin. I'm doing my research, but I'm just... It's not that I'm not convinced I am, but I want to know what I'm getting into before I start, investing and stuff. I don't want to just be like, right, I'm on it now, right, invest in that, and then be like, oh shit, what did I do? I want to make sure I'm going in, all guns blazing. It's a bit like what, as I said with Socrates, smart people learn from everyone and everything. So you don't want to just go in all guns blazing and be like, oh shit. So that's what I'm doing with the whole Bitcoin thing. That's what I'm doing with the whole Bitcoin. Lads, been on about 1 hour and 20. I'm going to call it quits here, okay? I may do a live stream on Saturday, okay? Might do a live stream on Saturday after the fight night, depending on what happens. But we're definitely doing Sunday. Sunday is my day. Sunday, 6 o'clock. That's my day. That's my time. That's when I go and talk to all yous. So we're definitely doing a stream on Sunday. But I'm depending on how the fight goes on Saturday, I might do a live stream, I might not. I might just join a panel. I don't know. But lads, I gotta say, big up to all yous. We had Ade in the stream earlier. I sold him on StreamYard. StreamYard's great. Big up to... Actually, I'll just give you guys a shout before I go. Big up to Chris, Randy. You got to get Timmy Nielsen in there. Big up to you, my man. Tommy, every time. He's been actually... Limo's been giving me some great questions tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Hashtag G-Man's Rocks. Of course, man, anytime. You got to big up Nick every time. Man, big up to Nick Harmer every time. I think Tony was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still there. Big up to him. As always, yeah. Do a live stream during Usyk. I will. I will eventually. I never do them. But I will. I should really start doing them, to be honest with you. There you go, to Chris. Good vibes. Always a good vibe. You got to end these on a great vibe. You got to keep it just happy, You got to keep it happy. There's no minimum amount to invest. Start small and see. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was worried about. I was worried that I'd end up just being like, right, stick fucking, oh God, like $1,000 on this and see what happens. So I was like, no, don't do that. Yo, Dan, appreciate you being in here, man. Big up to you, Randy, Nick. I feel bad on Toby here because look what he says, right? He says literally only just joined the stream and now it's ending. I actually feel bad on you now, mate. Well, I've given you times and dates, right? So we're going live again Sunday, 6 o'clock, as always. And we'll do, we might do Saturday. It depends on the thing, on the fight and how I feel and what's going on. We'll do probably, I'll see you on Saturday. Don't quote me on Saturday, but we'll definitely do it on Sunday. Sunday's my day. Lads, I'll talk to you all. Have a great evening, great day. Have a great one, all right? Anyone going through anything, I hope it gets better. Talk to you, lads.